Okay, last video tutorial then. Hopefully this will bring us to something really nice that we can record in our project folders. So we want to just see if we can add some nice materials to this, make it look a little bit nicer. That's not really what this program is about, but it is possible to do. So we're going to be over in the parts menu over here just to select some items and to play around with. Let's have a look at the handrail first of all. It's not a nice grey at the moment, but let's go and see if we can pick those two parts up. So again, it's easier if we've renamed them because we know what they are, but don't worry if you haven't. And we're going to assign a material for the two parts. Now, part of the reason for assigning these materials is so that if you asked Onshape to do some physics with it and to do some animation, it would be able to work things out, the weight of things and items like that without any problem at all. What we can do is we can pick up different items inside here to use. So we could go for a stainless steel or a mirror or an aluminium. You can see cast iron. We've got all sorts of things down here that we could play around with. ABS, polyurethane. So loads of things to play around with and see what we want to do. I'm going to make it titanium. Why not? So I've made my item out of titanium. So I've added those two to it. Now, before I click something else, you can see that it hasn't really changed the look of it. So we can also edit the appearance for those two parts. And that's essentially, we can change the color of it and change what it looks like a little bit. So that's what we can do. So I click yes. So I've got my nice white handles there. So let's go for the next part. Let's go for part one. Let's have a look at the materials. I wonder if we've got a concrete that we can put in here. So scrolling down, so let's just there is concrete, so I can put in concrete. Now it doesn't change the color particularly. I'm going to want to put in the color as well. So again, I'm going to edit the appearance of that item, and this time a much darker gray for that item there. I think it would be nice to have some color in this, so let's try these last shapes and change the color of those for a second. So let's go and select all of these parts and make sure we've got them all selected at the same time so that we don't have to do this lots of times. It's including part 4, so there it is. And then right click and we will assign a material. Now it wouldn't be appropriate to make it out of plastic or acrylic. What could we make it? Let's make it out of a wood. So European beech sounds good. So let's do that. And again, I'm going to change the appearance. Now, I'm sure I could find a way of adding a material to this, but I've never done it before, so I'm not going to start playing around with it now. You might have some extra time to be able to do it. So I've picked a nice pale color. Let's go for a slightly stronger one, and then we will leave it there. So hopefully, yeah, there we've got the color, the little wooden color on there on our bridge. So we've got a nice looking item there. So there's two different outputs I could get that I might want to use. I might want to do some different views and have a look at it from different angles and take some screenshots of this. If you can't remember how to do a screenshot, it's Windows Shift S, and that will open up the ability to grab a screenshot and move it over to your work. So that was Windows Shift S. I'm running two screens at the moment, which is why you couldn't see that worked. So that's one item, one way of doing it. Another way is that we could produce a two-dimensional drawing. So let's just have a look at how we do that. You know what? I'm going to do that in a last video in a minute.